There we go. Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you guys all had a fantastic weekend. Happy Monday. It definitely has been something more of a I would say timid Monday, I would say. Let me go over here and check something very fast for you guys, because it says I'm streaming, but it also says, there it goes. Okay. Sorry guys. Making sure everything was working on YouTube wasn't showing me that I was live yet. Loki's Claws say hello. Hello. Oh, you're gonna scratch this. But yeah, just in case I messed up on the beginning part and YouTube hadn't gone live yet. Happy Monday, everybody. It has been a pretty average Monday, I would say. Nothing too wild there to talk about, but there's some news that we need to talk about and some trends like that we are still seeing here as far as the stock market. If you guys joined the membership stream a couple days ago, or yesterday, in fact, we had been talking a little bit about how we're seeing a lot of stocks actually start to show some more bearish characteristics and what the plan is for those particular stocks. And now we have to kind of deal with that. If the stock market does start to come back down over the next few months, what exactly does that mean for crypto? Right now, it means that crypto is most likely going to come back down, but hopefully over the next week or so, as we have this swath of earnings, we can really see some really big levels kind of come into the fray, big moves, excuse me. And that's going to be the exciting thing I think we're all going to be looking for. So, hey, Double O Wolf, happy to see you back, man. What I want to talk about today is a few different things. Before we start hopping into Bitcoin technicals, there's some news I wanted to talk to you guys about. Coinbase officially just sued the SEC. Apparently, they're seeking regulatory clarity for the crypto industry. I think this is great. You guys all know the SEC has been a loose freaking cannon all the last couple of years, and we need to figure out what's going on here, because as soon as the SEC is forced to lay down specific rules of what's a security and what's not a security, then the different projects can kind of navigate and figure out what the rules are, and they can play by the game. Right now, the rules keep on changing because the SEC and Gary Gensler, more specifically, is just not being forthright, or he's not governing, his position in good faith, and that's having a horrible impact on the crypto industry, and that uncertainty is adding a lot of weight to the price action that we've been seeing over the past few months. So, one other fun thing here, this is more of a YOLO play that I saw today, and I was just kind of looking at it. I'd been telling you guys I normally don't hold these positions for very long. I like to buy and sell, get out really fast if I want to trade them at all. But Bed Bath & Beyond did officially announce they're going bankrupt today, and they are going to be closing down all of their stores. And you see that their stock has dropped down about 35%. This is one of those opportunities where if you guys want to do something more aggressive, you guys are going to be buying some calls as far as Bed Bath & Beyond is concerned. You should expect this to be the same thing as you going to Vegas and betting whatever amount you want to bet on black or red, and there's double zeros, okay? So the odds are not in your favor, but if you guys want to do a YOLO position, this is going to be it for the next few months. Everybody's going to be trying to do some small positions here. Again, it's only going to take a small amount of money here to make you a lot of money. So if you guys want to do this YOLO play, I went online and I went over to Livestream, who's one of the sponsors of this video, and I was looking to see what exactly was bought today, frankly, from those options perspectives. Because look at this, there's only one real call on here. Everything else is puts that were loaded up on today, but the call was a strike price of 50 cents. All right. And that expires in January 19th of 2024. That's a while away. And currently we're at 18 cents. So they're probably expecting something like what we saw with Hertz back in the pandemic, where they kind of went bankrupt. Then all of a sudden they were revived. A lot of people that had those YOLO calls made a lot of money. You see one real person, and as far as hedge funds are concerned, actually doing that type of move. I'm not, I probably will do something really stupid like this as well, but I understand it's a YOLO play. And if you guys want to do this as well, this is going to be that crazy YOLO play of the year, to see if Bed Bath & Beyond can be salvaged or bought out or something similar. And hey, PHX, happy to see you back, my man. I'm really excited to see what happens here. Now, puts, I wouldn't be buying any puts at this point. These people are probably just buying shorts to kind of load up on the positions. You can see a lot of the strike prices are $30, $1.50, $1.50, 50 cents, $2.50, $1. And remember, the prices are on 18 cents. They're just kind of loading up on shorts, and they're going to exercise those options and load up on shorts. So as that goes down and down and down, they can make some really good money off of it. But if you guys want to see this one call, it's not going to move too much, I don't think. Yeah, they bought it at 10 cents. It's currently at 9 cents. It's been pretty stable all day. I really want to see how these calls do. And so I might do a similar call here because it is only 9 cents, which means it's only about, about $9 per single call. That's not crazy if you guys want to dip your toes into something a little bit more aggressive here. Now, as far as everything else, we can get at Bed Bath & Beyond. Just take stock of what's going on here as far as the Coinbase suing the SEC for more clarity on the crypto regulations. I think that's going to be something really, really big for our industry in particular. You could already see in the comments section, everybody's already a little bit salty. Everything is already planned. Brian Armstrong from the top rope, that's the CEO of Coinbase. And then you got right here, well, can't blame them. Yo-based, SEC is a scam. And definitely people do not like the SEC. But I think this is really big news. I'm going to retweet this very fast. And then keep an eye out for that. If we can finally get some clarity again, this is going to make some huge moves for the crypto markets. All right. So as far as the overall market here, I told you guys that with the members and I had a members stream here yesterday, and we were talking about how a lot of stuff is starting to lose on momentum and how it looks more and more bearish as we're seeing these crossovers. What these could be MACD, RSI, stochastic, just basic crossovers and divergences that are not very good for the technical analysis for certain stocks out there like Apple, Tesla, NVIDIA, AMD, things of that nature. Now, that being said, I would say that we're kind of fitting that pattern right now. We're still just kind of going more sideways with a few things like Tesla breaking down at this point, Apple going sideways, Microsoft going sideways. Let me just pop this up right here. A lot of stuff just going sideways. So when you look at that front page here, Dow is going sideways, NASDAQ went sideways for the most part, a little bit down, but sideways. Same with the S&P, up a little bit, but really just sideways here. Nothing to be concerned about as we start getting to this next big batch of earnings, which I think are just going to be, they're going to cause some really big waves as far as the market's been concerned. Something that happened that was interesting today, if I go back over here though, is oil, which is exactly behind my head. Let me just draw this out here. There you go, right there, oil, really nice and green. Oil was having a really good day today. I didn't actually see why because I was busy, but let me see if I can figure out what was going on here. Supreme Court. Maybe something about carbon capture. I don't know. I mean, it could have just been the oil market. Let me actually just go over here very fast for you guys. Yeah, US oil started to bounce back up here on the weekly chart, bouncing off the 20-week moving average here. Might be looking to go a little bit higher. Yeah, oil prices just moving back up here. Finally stopping the fall after people started to panic a little bit more about a recession. If you guys weren't aware, all of a sudden over the past couple weeks, the Federal Reserve and some other institutions have been talking about finally America, they say, is going to go into a recession. Before they had been saying a recession isn't for sure coming. We're not sure if it's going to be coming. We're going to wait and see and have a changing response as needed. Well, now they're officially saying we're going to be heading into a recession. So yippee-ki-yay, get ready for some more buying opportunities whenever said recession happens. I'm thinking in Q2 this quarter or Q3, frankly, but we'll have to give it some time. Hopefully it happens sooner rather than later so we can get those good buying opportunities and get this over with. I know nobody wants to stay in this sideways downward market for too long here. But yeah, so there's some good news there. Everything else really, again, just more sideways action. Now, as far as Bitcoin's concerned, this has been pretty interesting. You guys know we're looking to bounce off of the 50-week moving average, but you could already see this death cross that's going to happen here. Unless Bitcoin has a very aggressive move this week, we're going to be coming back down to $26,000, $25,000, and we need to figure that out fast because remember, when we start playing around with these moving averages, you have some really volatile moments. Volatility is not what you want to be seeing if we're coming down at this point in time. You want to see us have a volatile breakout, not breaking down like we currently are looking like we want to do. And if we look like we're going to be breaking down below that 50-day moving average, we're going to have a little bit of a tidbit, maybe around 26,500. And then from there, we start falling very fast to about $24,500. Now, you may want to see a little bit of support around $25,000, but I would definitely see some type of wick breaking down below that, freaking people out, hitting some stop losses, and that's probably where you guys want to buy if we do decide to break down to that next level. As far as everything else, NASDAQ, again, sideways action. Nothing has freaking changed. We're still just seeing these trends that say we want to come back down a little bit more. You've seen the crossover on the MACD. You saw the crossover in the RSI. Not good. Dow Jones, about to have a crossover on the Dow Jones on the MACD. And the crossover on the RSI already happened when we are in overbought territory. SPY, crossover happening today or tomorrow. Again, still holding some levels of resistance. And the RSI crossover happened right here. We're just not in a good spot as far as the stock market. Hopefully Bitcoin can try to get out of that, but again, who knows how that's going to work out. And hey, Ken, happy to see you back, my man. What kind of moves do you think will happen after the Fed meeting on the 3rd? It remains to be seen if they try to raise rates one more time and stop, or if they plan on just stopping with no more rates. If they don't have a rate, we should probably have a jump for a few days. And then, frankly, I think it's going to cause something more of a surprise crash. And I don't mean like a drastic crash, but we're going to start going down a little bit more frequently, because the only legitimate reason at this point to stop raising rates in this high inflationary environment is because they are so afraid of how bad the economy may get with the with this impending recession that's coming, apparently, according to the Fed. So that's going to be a show of fear, and I think the market's going to react as such. Because remember, they've raised rates plenty of times now. We kind of dipped down a little bit more, but we've been kind of moving up after those rate hikes. I don't know if you guys have been watching that kind of thing like that. And that means they still think the economy is strong. As soon as the economy starts showing these signs of weakness, which will be coming up over the next few weeks, perhaps, when it comes to earnings. So let me show you guys this very fast, Ken. There we go. So today, not really anything going on here as far as what I would say, wow, look at all that happening. Maybe Coca-Cola. But tomorrow we got Microsoft, we got Google, we got Chipotle, JetBlue, which is going to be interesting, General Motors, General Electric, Raytheon Technologies, Spotify is interesting, Texas Instruments always big, Verizon, Visa, and UPS. So UPS is packaging. They're going to give us an insight on how many packages are being delivered. Visa is just a lot of credit card swipes. So are people spending money and using their cards? If so, Visa is going to have good profits. If people aren't swiping their cards and giving Visa all those fees, it'll be shown in the earnings, and they'll be talking about that as well. And that will, I don't know how that's going to turn out. I would expect that people are not spending as much money as they were last quarter because of the holidays and stuff. Excuse me. Wednesday, Medican. This is going to be, it's going to be a big one again. Remember, all of these things have been going like crazy. And what's been kind of propping up Meta is the fact that people think that TikTok is going to get banned. I don't know if TikTok truly is going to be banned. I would say that there's probably a few states that are going to take it to the extreme and ban it. But I think most states are willing to let TikTok be in America or their state, as long as they're abiding by some strict regulatory frameworks. And I think TikTok would be able to do that because they're just making so much money. Why stop the gravy train over a few regulations that you frankly shouldn't care about? I don't think they really do care about them too much. Now, after that, you do have some other things here on Wednesday, which is Churchill Downs. Boeing is going to be a big one. eBay is going to be a big one here. O'Reilly's is something interesting because as people have less money, they don't tend to buy new cars or buy used cars even. They tend to go to the shop and try to fix up their cars by themselves. And you can see that in their numbers. Pioneer Natural Resources, that's something that I own a lot of. Spirit Airlines would be interesting. And then I think that's it as far as that. Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. That's something more of like the casino play that some of you guys may know about. Now, Thursday, Amazon. Again, another big one here. American Airlines, Brunswick, Capital One's going to be a big one. First Solar's going to be a big one here. Hilton Grand Vacations. Anything else here? Snapchat, interesting. Warehouse, that's big out here. U.S. Steel, that's going to be interesting as well. And then Friday, nothing really crazy. So, Tuesday, so tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday are going to be some really blockbuster days for earnings. You really want to be observing the market every day for those 3 days, okay? If we start breaking down and Meta is not looking good, you know, if Meta's not good, people will infer that Google's not good, that, you know, it'll kind of spiral into the sectors. And as we kind of see what happens here, um, last time the one that didn't perform well was Amazon, and you saw them start to tick back down, you know, and you saw some of those puts ended up working out there. But for now, before we start having those earnings, you are already seeing all of the bearish signs as far as the oscillators, and by oscillators I mean everything that's below the chart, right? There are tons of oscillators out there. I usually have on where is it? There you go. The chart prime one over here. Move this a little bit down so it squinches up. Yeah. Okay, there we go. You know, you're already seeing divergences happen right now. I mean, you're just seeing so many red flags as far as, you know, watch out for a big move, watch out for a big move. And, you know, perhaps like even if you look at the Bitcoin one, forget about everything else, because, you know, we like Bitcoin above everything else here, right? Go over here to the weekly one. Usually when we hit these bearish MACD crossovers, they're usually pretty accurate. Now, this is a different time than the 2021, 2020 kind of bull market that we were kind of going crazy about. But if I put this over here for you, the crossover was confirmed right here. So you might have been able to see the crossover happening the week before, but when the weekly candle closed, this was your sign that, hey, something larger was happening. Now, this one was a little bit different because the government was literally tossing out money to people, but there's your first big bearish signal. It took 2 following weeks before we really started to see some drastic moves. That's number one. Let's get rid of all these drawings. You had a crossover over here on the bullish side. It took more than a few weeks before that crossover ended up working out. Now, again, the fact that we had another bump was kind of insane in itself. However, we have to live with that sometimes in a kind of a crazy environment. And the crossover right here, and I mean, you can just see from a historical context how that really ended up going down from there. There's no hiding that one. And now Bitcoin's looking for another crossover here. I would say in early May. And that's kind of in line with, you know, we have maybe a week of okay, everybody's happy that the no more rate hikes, and all of a sudden everybody gets hit with like, oh wow, we're really going to go into a recession. And then you start to see stuff coming back down. But this is Bitcoin right here, right? So this is Bitcoin right now. You can see that crossover is about to happen. On the daily chart here, you can already see we've already had that crossover. Make this so you guys can see a little bit easier. We had that crossover. And it was from here, there. 2 weeks after, we really started to see that big move down. Going back over here, though, crossover right here to here. This was a smaller one. I don't really put too much stock in it at this moment in time. As far as the overall crossovers, what I really care more about is you guys can see clearly here, we do have this setup of a lower high and then a higher high, so higher highs, and then we got lower highs over here as far as that MACD. So we got some divergence occurring, and usually when the divergence occurs, it's going to be going in the way of the divergence, the price action, and not the continual higher highs that we've been seeing over the past few weeks. So we're just not looking at a good spot. Frankly, I think it's more likely that people would be shorting right now after we had that little bit of a bump. We had talked on Friday what you guys should be doing, and it's that short-term bump, remember? Short-term bump, medium-term sell-off. Well, we're kind of back into that medium term here after that little bit of a bump that we had, which I wouldn't say was even a great bump. And now we're all kind of waiting to see if we're going to have a drastic drop as we break down below this 50-day moving average. Last time we broke down below the 50, it was not a pleasant sight. The 50 has been a little bit more solid, I guess, than you might call the 20. Usually the 20 used to be pretty solid for us, but not these days. And you can see right here, right? We tried to close above it. We're unable to, but we opened above it based on how the candle pretty much just moved sideways. And then what happened? We came back down, big move down, big move up. And then once we broke above it, it was a good time. So, we're, again, opened up above it right here. And what happened? We got slammed back down. Bitcoin has to hold here. Hence the name of the stream, Bitcoin better hold. We have to hold here, or we're going to have a 3 to 5% Bitcoin down day. That's not pretty for anybody unless you guys have shorts, I suppose. But Ken, I bet everybody's really salivating for a good recession here. There's a lot of people that just want to make some money and continue to grind and grind a dollar cost average. That's what I'm really hoping for. But I've been thinking we're going to go back into a recession for a while now, and this market is nowhere near recession level market. So, I can't brag about being right until the stocks hit below the October lows and Bitcoin hits a fresh new all-time low. Not all-time low, but a new cycle low, I guess you would call it, which would be us breaking down below like 15,500 or so. I can't brag until that happens. But I feel like I'm one of the few people on YouTube calling for it. And at the same time, I really hope I'm wrong about it. But I'm thinking more from an economic standpoint and not necessarily just the technical analysis level. I've seen a lot of YouTubers out there that have been saying that we're going to bounce pretty soon, and then we're going to go to another batch of like 35,000, 40,000. I would hope that would happen. Even if I'm more bearish in the long term, like I said, I would still like to see us stay strong here. But the fact that we are about to test out this 50-day moving average again, it does give me a little bit of pause, and it does make me worry. I'm hoping that a whale can come in here and pop us up nice and easy, and then we can start having a little bit more of a chug, maybe back up here to 28,000, 29,000. I think that would just give us a little bit of a breather, because you guys know, usually if we are in the situation, sometimes if the bulls come in here to support us, again, we have to wait to see how earnings are as far as the stock market. We can squeeze ourselves between the 20 and the 50. And so eventually it'll have a big breakout or a big breakdown, but that squeeze buys people time to just kind of relax and enter into some new positions that they might otherwise not have felt comfortable with. On the 4-hour chart here, you can already see the death cross is occurring. That's not something you really want to see at this point in time. You guys remember that first death cross here? We had talked about it. We pumped up into it, then all of a sudden fake out, boom, there we went down. Now we're having another death cross right here, another death cross right here. We got to see how these trends change. Throughout this whole cycle here, I know we did have a banking crisis back over here that kind of messed up some technicals. We still have an opportunity, if we come back down here to $25,000, $26,000, to reverse and come back up and have a pretty nice move. I'm hoping that we can do something like that, even though it doesn't look like we want to. As far as like your short-term analysis, guys, we're just kind of making our way low. We got some lower lows here and some higher highs. Definitely opening up that range a little bit, but not really justifying doing any major buys at this point. A smaller buy for now, maybe, just because you can see, I think we're looking at a breakout right now. Yeah, looking at a smaller breakout, but I mean, you can see this breakout's not even doing much. It's just kind of continuing on a sideways trend, and it's a pretty weak upward trend at that. So, play it easy, play it safe. It's nothing to be too concerned about. I think the really big thing here is if we go back over to the daily chart, you're starting to see that weakness on the dollar again. We've been kind of following the dollar for a while. I think what's even crazier is what we saw with the, I forget how to, Argentinian peso, Mexican peso, European peso, British peso. How do you spell Argentina? I thought I know how to spell it. Oh, I spent Tinia and instead of Tina. Argentina peso. Oh, I can't find it. Okay. Well, basically, the Argentinian peso is freaking in a pit of fire at this point, as in Argentina is dealing with like 104% inflation. It's pretty darn drastic. But main point here is, guys, I don't want to go off topic. We are seeing the dollar show some weakness. And the last time we saw weakness like this was in 2020. The time before this was in 2017. And before that, really looks like it was back around 2010, 2009, 2008 financial crisis kind of set stuff off a little bit here as well. But we continue to make some lows. Remember, the only way you guys are going to be excited about the dollar going back up at this point, because inflation is kind of coming down, is if we manage to break out above that 20-week moving average, and we're nowhere close to that. the dollar continues to fall, and the stock market isn't necessarily thinking of that as a really good thing after how bad the stock market was doing as the dollar ramped up here, you know, exchange costs and so forth. But okay. Yeah. So today, guys, it's just how are we doing as far as the 50-day moving average. Actually, I should show you one more thing here. If you go over here to the daily, let's hide this. RSI already had its crossover a while ago. That's not a good sign, but at least, you know, at least we're kind of not in those oversold levels anymore. That's kind of nice. And the last thing here is going to be the oscillator. We are seeing a little bit of divergence, but I don't think it's the end of the world. But just again, we're starting to see a little bit more weakness here, which is going to be a little bit more concerning for a lot of you guys. Okay. Now let's put the MACD up here. Go over here. One more thing, hourly chart. You guys are seeing some smaller swings that are kind of happening at this point. We're slowing down a little bit on this fall. Watch out for what you might consider a larger drop coming out of nowhere. That's just the, you know, it could be a larger pop as well, but because everything's kind of pointing down, just be careful of it, okay? If you guys are trading with leverage at this point, you got, and you're longing, you guys should have some really good stop losses and not hope for, like, you know, not have them so out of the, so far away from your opening price. And the same thing if you're going short, you guys want to be very careful about how far you place your stop losses at this point in time. All right, so let me put this back over here. Pop the oscillator up. There we go. And guys, remember, this stream is sponsored by Chart Prime Whale Stream. Make sure to go check them out, please. They are great sponsors to the channel, and let me use these programs for you guys as well. There we go. And hey, Stuart Trader, please, new Bitcoin biggest selly. I don't know what that is, my man. But if it's a new token, just be very, very careful about how you trade it. Be very, very careful about how you trade it. And hey, Alan, time happy to see you back, my man. FRC dropped 20% for earnings. Do you think it will have an effect on tomorrow on the SPY? Yeah, it's not the most heavily weighted thing, but it should have a pretty practical effect just because, again, everything is already pointing more south. Every bit of ammo that the bears have, they are going to take it. Let's take a quick peek here at it. Ivan, FRC, First Republic Bank. Wow. And the banks had been doing okay so far. I had believed there had been some hiccups, but most banks were having okay earnings, I think, because they didn't see so many withdrawals kind of funneling out. I mean, this is an hourly chart, guys. So let's go over here to the 5-minute chart. You guys can see, boom. Wow. Yeah, talk about a rough after hours period. Now, I, for some reason, was not able to, oh, there it is. This was not here yesterday. I was doing a membership stream and my post-market hours background was not showing up. It was driving me absolutely nuts. Let me just go blue here. Okay, let's just do slightly. And you guys can see that, okay. Yeah, so you can see after hours right here, everybody was buying it in preparation for good earnings because all the other earnings had been perfectly fine. And then you see all of a sudden we close off around 16 bucks after earnings, after market close. We popped all the way up here to 1686. And then we go from 1686 all the way down to 1245. So definitely not a good move here. I wonder what the options players were doing today with this. Let's go over here, FRC. And you can see there's a mixed bag today. Most of the sentiment was bearish, so that's good. At least the hedge funds were getting something right here. And you can see for 6/16, which is not this month, it's not next month, it's the month after that. They have a put for a $15 strike price. They currently bought that today when it was at like $16, now it's at 12. They're going to wake up with a bunch of money in their accounts. I bet today, though, they were probably not too thrilled with it when they buy. Oh, they bought right at the end of the day. Smart guys, smart. You have a call here that expires in, oh, it expires today. No, it was bought today. It expires this Friday. That call is now worthless. All these calls are pretty much worthless. This one's not as worthless. This is 12/15. This is December 15th of this year, so that's not terrible. But the May 5th run it here, these ones are all pretty much just dead on arrival. 8/8/2023. This will make some money, but not a lot. some puts at 750, 750. Wow, 750. That's bold. Remember, the price right now is 1250, and today it ended up around 7. These guys are betting for some really big paydays, but you can see the price of these options is only 50 cents. It might pop up somewhere close to 80, 90 cents, so they can still be looking at a really good profit because the earnings were so disastrous for First Republic Bank. But yeah, I agree. That was definitely not a good day for them. I wonder what caused them to actually have those earnings, though. Everybody else seemed to be doing just fine here. Let me go over here and just type in FRC Bank. Oh, there you go. Yeah, First Republic says the deposits tumbled 40% to 104.5 billion in Q1, but have stabilized since. So they've stabilized, but man, 40% of deposits ran. So people took their money, they left because they really don't want to have to deal with this. And can you blame them for not wanting to deal with a bank that could have issues? I couldn't blame them. I mean, I keep my money in Chase. I know family members keep it in Wells Fargo, credit unions, all that type of stuff. None of us have ever any worries about our money. But I'm guessing, like, if you just have a smaller bank like this, I guess there was more of a panic among people. I don't know the benefits of smaller banks usually. I really don't. I just found a bank when I was younger. I did Wells Fargo. I hated Wells Fargo, so I moved over to Chase. But this is astonishing that this many people left their bank. Since they have stabilized, that should be a good thing. But man, you are seeing some rocky waves happening today off of this news, it looks like. And on top of that, I can see right here, Tucker Carlson leaves Fox News in wake of Dominion defamation settlement. This was wild today. So I woke up and I hopped on Twitter, as I guess a normal person does these days, and I saw that both Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson had been let go from their organizations. Don Lemon, I thought, would be let go a long time ago because he made those comments about what did he say? Women are past their prime when they're like 40 years old or some crazy shit like that. He has never met a corporate woman. Oh my God, those women are tenacious. But that was absolutely certain. He's just a weird guy. I think he has like an alcoholic problem too, that spills over into his work side. And then you have Tucker Carlson, who I don't watch, admittedly, but I've seen his interviews. So not when, like, him being interviewed, but not his show of him interviewing people, if that makes sense. And he always seemed kind of articulate. It seems like he was more rambunctious as far as the Fox News people go. But again, I didn't, I'm usually streaming or doing stuff like this. I think Tucker Carlson might be on right. Oh, I guess he's not anymore, but his show is probably around on the time when I'm streaming and talking with you guys. But I thought he brought in some great ratings for Fox, while Don Lemon didn't bring hardly any ratings to CNN. So it was astonishing to see them make such a huge change. I wonder where Tucker Carlson is going to go next, because he has a huge following, and I think he'll be fine. But man, there was just a blockbuster amount of news today. And again, if you guys are just joining us, the big news as far as cryptocurrency is concerned right now is Coinbase is suing the SEC, and they're seeking regulatory clarity for the crypto industry. I wonder if I go over here and I type in Coinbase. Well, I didn't type in Coinbase properly, but let's see if it pops up. Coinbase. I wonder if they actually have a formal statement on this. Let's see. Number one, the community is clearly fired up about sensible crypto policy. Here's how to continue the support. Meant to stand with crypto commemorative NFT. Add a shield emoji next to a Twitter display name. Oh, they're trying to build up a rah here. They're trying to get social media working up. The commemorative NFT features a blue shield representing our collective stand to protect and promote the potential cryptocurrency. All proceeds associated with the stand for crypto NFT collection on our Zora will be donated to vetted organizations through a crypto advocacy round with Gitcoin. Oh, that's interesting right there. So it looks like they're doing some stuff here. Now, I don't know exactly what the hell that is. I'm not an NFT person. You guys know that, but I am still trying to learn more about this space. If there's another NFT Seattle, I will be glad to go to it, because I did have a lot of fun during the last one. I did learn a lot during the last one. But I don't see a formal statement about it. Maybe it was... Let's see. No, crypto advocacy. I don't really see much about it. I don't, all I see is the learn how your voice can make an impact on crypto policy here in DC. I haven't seen much there. So hopefully they come up with more information, or maybe it's just going to be like an article or something from another website. But I do want to learn more about it. That SEC lawsuit is going to be massive. People are going to be watching that very, very closely, because it's going to force the SEC to lay out ground rules about what is a security, what is not a security. That way we can just have a good system. We don't have a good system right now the way it's built out, and a good system will help crypto flourish. It'll help a lot of the legitimate crypto coins out there and tokens make people a lot of money. The shit tokens, on the other hand, not so much, but that's what we have to kind of deal with this market. We all bought a shit coin once, and we're all going to buy another shit coin hoping it goes up. I have a portfolio of shit coins, and some are doing well, some are not. It's just the way it goes. But going ahead of it, you're buying a shit token. So, well, hopefully the regulations don't kill all of them, but I do think we're going to have a little bit more of an idea of what exactly is a security. What makes Ethereum a security? What makes Bitcoin a security? And so on. But because the SEC is not giving us those answers, and they're choosing not to give us those answers. And Gary Gensler denied he denied the House Financial Services Committee. He denied them an answer as well. So he said, no, I can't tell you. I have to talk in the generic term. That way I have to protect the right of the SEC. And I'm like, dude, I can just tell McHenry wanted to give that guy a big old middle finger, because it was an atrocious job of going in front of Congress. And I'm hoping that Congress can come together to fire Gary Gensler, or at least put some rein him in a little bit, because he has been acting dishonorably towards the office that I think he holds. And I do think that office is important, has a lot of power, and he's been misusing that power to target crypto without the best interests of the American people at heart. It's been not a good one, guys. Let's see, can I look at Floki when I get a chance? Give me the ticker for Floki and I can look at it for you. First Republic announced they lost 100 billion in deposits. Oh, there you go. You're right there. Yeah. That is just wild right there. Yeah, no worries, Ivan. Happy to take a look for you guys. It's just, again, we're seeing those kind of bad signs, but I think overall those bad signs with the good signs, it just makes us murky. I don't think it's necessarily the whole thing is rigged to blow up and explode, so to speak. But let me get myself a little more comfortable here as I talk to you guys in a rant form. I just think the thing that kind of tips us over into recession is basically how everybody is just running out of money, and everybody is trying to save up so they can actually buy stuff, and inflation is just kicking our butts, because there's a mix of a few things with inflation. The price of transporting goods, that's been going up. The greed of corporations kind of making their prices go up even more than inflationary prices have been. That's been very, very bad. People just getting fed up with all of that and just giving the middle finger. That's also been very, very bad, although I kind of support that type of mentality. It's led us into this really gray area, and I would say a gray area with a red haze. And that red haze is a little bit of bearishness, a little bit of fear. And when you think about it, I mean, practically, I know this is a lot of our first bear market, but if I just as much as I want to feel more excited about the overall market, if you look at what's happened so far during this bear market cycle, do you think it's justifiable, again, that we're just like 9-10% away from all-time highs when the economy feels so much like shit? I just cannot stress how bad. I mean, you guys know, you guys have friends out there. There are a lot of people who are just not being able to make ends meet because of how bad the economy is doing at this point in time. Now, I'm hoping that things will get better. I really don't want a recession to come, but I just am not seeing the average American have more money in their pocket to go spend and do stuff. Nobody's getting raises anymore because everybody's afraid that they're going to get laid off. Why would you ask for a raise if you think that might get you fired in a few months? It's just not happening at this point. And although I think there's still lots of jobs out there, people have pride. they don't want to quit their job and place or get laid off and go to a place where they feel like it's not going to be, it's beneath them. And everybody has that level, like, that's beneath me. Some people feel like it's a garbage man is beneath me. Some people feel like it's a McDonald's worker is beneath me. Some people feel like, heck, it's a marketing manager's position is beneath them. It's a whole swath of things. But each one of those jobs, there's plenty of people that want to do that work because they all pay pretty, decent money depending on where you are. People get paid $20 an hour, $15 an hour to flip burgers. That's pretty good. Garbage men get union salaries. They get good pay. They get vacation days. They have a good setup there. And you got marketing managers. They can make a bunch of money as marketing managers in corporate America. But, it still is just mind boggling how much, or how close we are towards all-time highs here. What are we at? 9.5%, not even 9, like 9.25% away from all-time highs. It still just boggles my mind. And what I'm really looking for here, again, we normally are looking for those death crosses between the 50-week moving average and the 200. So as we go back over here, get back into non-comfortable mode, but I can look at you guys. You guys can see that those death crosses back over here in the year 2000 between the 50 and the 200, those were not good. We kind of had a crazy bounce around here. I don't know if we're going to have such a crazy thing this time, but you guys could clearly see that we were coming down here, and that led to a smaller bear market cycle. We got out of it, and this is weeks, so this is months of time kind of going through these wild swings. 2008 happened. Again, those death crosses were not good things. That kind of signaled that, hey, we're in the midst of something bad happening, and, eventually we should be out of it. But, once you see that crossover happening, that's usually when you guys want to start buying. Unfortunately, for both of these situations, we were not in a very high inflationary environment, so things could be a little bit different. But I would still say that when a recession comes and companies are not making money, that's never a truly good sign for us to be looking at. Again, COVID, a little bit different. We had a big drop down, a big V-shaped recovery, but we didn't have that crossover there. We came close, but no dice. We had a big zoom up there. Now we're about to have that crossover. It looks like that crossover doesn't look like it's going to happen though until like summertime. So I wonder if we're going to have a big drop before the summer that would cause that crossover to happen, especially as you guys can see here. The 50 is moderating, but the 200 is still screaming up. So if we keep on this pace and we're going more sideways here, because I don't think we're going to break out in this economy anytime soon to like all-time highs, just kind of go more sideways. That intersection doesn't really happen until looks like October, right? Now, if we start to make a sudden drop sometime in the summer, then it speeds it up and maybe it will happen in September or something earlier, but it's still a while away. The SPY though, again, we're looking more like the summer, August, September, around that time and point. The 200 is still screaming up, and then we have the Nasdaq here. That's this is a pretty interesting one here. We've had the first one. We already had a golden cross back up here and another golden cross here, but the market's not really reacting to it. The Nasdaq isn't reacting to it because we're hitting this level of resistance that we just are, for whatever reason, unable to break through. Now, this death cross looks like it can happen sometime in the next few weeks. A little bit more scary here. Again, higher inflationary environment, so things aren't going to be the same, but we don't have the data necessary to kind of go back here into the 70s and try to evaluate this, because what happened in the 70s and 80s, you can see right here, not nothing there to really work with, unfortunately. But again, we're just seeing those continuations of, hey, this is a bad sign, this is a bad sign, this is a bad sign. It's just, when does the market tend to react to those bad signs? At this point, it's almost like a falling wedge, so to speak. And we're going to see whenever we break down below it, that's the time where panic sets in for, I don't know, maybe a few weeks to a few months. After that, we'll have to see and kind of regroup. But, if you think about it, let's go back over here to the daily and get out of the weekly. We're not even close to breaking down at this point. The NASDAQ would have to break down about 4% or so to really have that effect. We're not looking like that so far, at least for now. We still nudging up against resistance levels, looking happy, nothing too bad going on there. Hey, Mike, can you take a look at RTX? Saw some cheap calls earlier and took some. 616, 110 strike for 19 cents. Those are very cheap calls. Looks like a possible head and shoulders on the daily. What, you bought cheap calls on the head and shoulders? What are you doing buying calls on the head and shoulders? Let's go over here very fast. You said RTX. Very thin. Okay, I just mentioned this a while ago, but just in case you don't know, they do. I mean, you probably do know, but they do have earnings coming up. Now, as far as the head and shoulders play, the weekly here first. Let's just go to the body of the candles now. All right. So we are in that resistance zone right now. We're kind of chugging along. We had a pretty big move yesterday. Let's go over here. Oops. Let's go to RTX. Let's go to historical flow from last week and today. And then let's see where that money is kind of flowing in here from. These will ask. Okay, there's not too many big hedge fund plays on this. It looks like you got a put for 2024, that doesn't matter. A put for 616, that really doesn't matter. 818, 818, 818, 119, 519, that might be the closest thing to we're going to see. 428, that's this Friday. There's a call 104. You said you got 616 though. So you're a little bit further. Here's, okay, 105, 616. And at 110. Oh, wow. Wait. Oh, this is from 418 though. It's 424 now. So this is from a while ago. Okay. Oh, wow. You're lucky you got into this now. This thing has probably been going down in value, I would assume, based on how they got it. Yeah. They bought it at 330 towards the high, and now you got it at a nice, a nice discount down there. All right. But yeah, so let me go right here. Inverse head and shoulders. Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know that. Okay. That makes more sense. So, I'm assuming you're looking at the head, a shoulder-like, and a shoulder-like thing right there. Now, normally I would say, looking at this, there you go. You're in a pretty decent uptrend right now. Looks like the last few days have not been kind to it. As we kind of rally up below here a little bit more, let me do one thing. Let's go down here from a couple weeks ago. Oh, yeah. Okay. A little bit of a tap there. Almost a tap there. I would say the call is fine for now, but you do have earnings coming up tomorrow. That's going to be the real thing. I mean, it doesn't even matter about the technicals at this point. You really need to focus on what these earnings are going to be. If the earnings are going to be good and they have a good pop, which let me see how they've been doing in the past. Last 4 times they've surprised on the upside. Kind of move my chair. No, it's not going to work out. My chair is going to stay safe. Basically, they've surprised for the last year or so. So that's what that's what you're looking for. Now, I don't know. Let me go over here today and see what the no historic flow is for today. There's no calls bought today though. I wanted to see. Okay, so at least from the puts I'm looking at, the implied volatility is very low. So it doesn't look like you're going to be looking for any type of gamma crashes or gamma squeezes here. So you should be fine there. It's really, what are the earnings tomorrow? That's really what it comes down to. Now, this thing is moving in the right direction. You should expect a breakout if it continues along this trend. But again, short term here, you are at that big level of resistance. So be very, very careful about it. If we start breaking down from this trend line right here, that's where you're probably going to want to cut your losses and just take your money and walk away. Or at least start shaving off a position of those calls, but it doesn't seem like those calls cost you too much money there. But that's what I'd be looking at right now. That trend line is going to be your stop loss when it looks like it's going to close down below that on the daily, because you can already see that at this point in time, You had a golden cross that could hopefully get you over the hump there, especially with earnings. But if we start breaking down below that 20-day moving average and below this trend line, that's where I think you get into a little bit more pain. But for now, it looks fine. Not so much of a head and shoulders, really just trying to break out above this, what you might want to call something more of a rectangle, like the bottom section for support right there, that trading range. If you can just break above that, I think you'd be fine. But at this point, people are getting a little bit more antsy about that earnings call, or earnings that was going to be coming out. But I like to see where it goes. But earnings. You want to be watching CNBC or Fox Business or Bloomberg. They're all most likely going to be talking about those earnings reports. And hey, Larry. Oh, how did SOX work? Excess. There you go. Oh, it's working out pretty well for you. Okay, good. Still hiking up here bit by bit. That's what you want to see. And that golden cross is coming anytime soon, which is probably a death cross for the other charts, but who cares? You're going the other way. You've seen that breakout that happened right here, and it's still chugging back up bit by bit. That next level of resistance still, it's kind of around this range of $21 to $23. It's pretty much where do you feel like you want to scale out at? You have those opportunities here, right? Not so many. It's not like there's a large difference in those zones. Afterwards, it looks like there's maybe one up here around 23, or it's gonna be 21.13. Then up here around $23. I would try to sell anywhere between, what did I say like before, like $21.50 or $23 or so. It looks like it's working out for you. So yeah, still a strong hold here, especially as we had some earnings blunders today. Not many earnings were actually coming out today, but those earnings blunders were very, very good for the bears, I would say, today as well. And again, what we talked about before, all of those signals are pointing for the stock market to come down overall from an indices perspective. As long as that's the case, this is going to be fine for you to continue to hold. I just don't know how long you want to hold it, but as the price moves up, you can move your stop loss up and you'll be perfectly happy with that as well. I know you're going to figure out what's best for your type of strategy. So good job on it, my man. And hey, Ghost, yeah, it's like 12.28 or something. It's a really, really good short. I'm glad he did some puts on it. That was a crazy, crazy play. And it looks like that's going to print you out some really, really good money tomorrow. Those banking sectors are just having a crazy time right now. I don't know if the banking crisis is over, but the market still seems to think that you should be worried about banks. And this gave a lot of credence to that argument for the bears out there saying, hey, the banking crisis is not good. We don't feel like the banks are a safe place to put your allocate funds right now as far as an investment. Should hold back on that one. Losing 100 billion, as one of you guys were saying a few minutes ago, losing 100 billion in deposits in just one quarter. That is massive for a small regional bank. That is absolutely massive there. An Apple Supreme Court ruling says they can't block companies from posting pay links outside the app. So glad I bought puts for 140 of January. Yeah, guys, Apple is one of those things where I do think it's worth buying puts on it. I'm just waiting for the official breakdown for myself. But most people are probably going to be looking for puts that expire out a while, where they can just kind of let it grow and let those kind of profits roll in slowly. Nothing wrong with that, but I like to kind of hit it on that breakdown day. At this point, if you want to buy some puts on Apple, really, your June puts are going to be prime at this point in time. Same with Tesla. Tesla might be a little bit more expensive, but Tesla puts, we talked about this yesterday in the member stream. Tesla puts are going to be good. I'm excited to watch AMD. I think AMD actually came down even more. I bought some AMD puts today. And so I'm hoping that AMD continues to come down. I'm hoping that NVIDIA continues to come down here so I can try to get some puts on NVIDIA as well. But AMD's been breaking down for quite a bit of time now. I can read all these charts with no problem. I just don't understand trading options. I trade forex dope content. Just subscribe. Excuse me. Hey, Amir. Options is a whole different ball game. You want to make sure you do all the proper training and stuff for it beforehand. Options are an easy way to describe options is this. So let's say you have a house. Little house. Okay, let's say this house is valued at 100K. Okay. I know it doesn't look like a K, but it's a K. $100,000. Now you come along and you say, hey, I want to buy the right to buy this house for $100,000 in 5 years. Well, normally the price of a house goes up over time. So what you do is you pay for the right to buy that house for $100,000 in 5 years. And that's the premium that you buy. So when we're talking about that, you see this premium right here? Maybe I can zoom in a little bit for you. That's what they're paying in total. Now the price for each contract is 227, 232, stuff like this. But the total price of all the contracts they bought is that price right there. Okay, so how many houses do you want to have the right to buy? All right. Now, so let's say 5 years pass and the house is now worth $160,000. Well, now you can buy that house for $100,000 and sell it for $160,000, and you're going to take your profit. Now, the profit is not going to be $60,000. It's going to be $60,000 minus however that contract called for your right to buy it. Sometimes you may pay $10,000, $5,000, whatever, but that's how you kind of operate there. Now, that's how hedge funds like to do this. For most people out there, you're not going to ever actually buy the house because that's a lot of money to exercise an option. What you're going to be doing is that premium that allowed you to buy this house. Right, let's just go right here. That little slip of paper that says, "Hey, I get to buy this house in 5 years when it, for $100,000 if it's above $100,000." Right. Quick caveat: if the price is $90,000, let's just say $10,000 because I have bad handwriting on a computer, you don't get anything. You lost everything. If in 5 years' time it goes to $0 or whatever, $10, why would you buy a house for $100,000 if it's worth $10? You wouldn't do that. So the contract is worthless. But basically, you're going to be trading this piece of paper right here with other traders out there, and that contract is going to be going up and down in value based on the price of the house. Now that's a very basic example. There's much more work that has to go into with gamma, theta, the Greeks, so to speak. But that's the basics of options trading right there. It's not too difficult once you get it down, but the hard part is deciding when you want to get into the positions and when you want to get out. And they can be very, very volatile when you do get into them. Very, very volatile indeed. So, and it's not the options markets have their own markets within them. So it's much more complicated than that, but that's a simple overview. I would say go over to ChatGPT. I don't know if you have the ChatGPT Plus. Usually if you just ask them to explain a simple trading topic, they're really good about it. Like for this one, maybe options trading, like you are speaking to a 10-year-old. Use a good example. All right. So let's say you have a favorite toy store called Toyland. They sell a super cool toy called Ultrabot for $10. You really want to buy Ultrabot, but you only have $5 right now. You think that in a month the price may go up because everyone will want to buy Ultrabot for their birthdays. Your friend Timmy is really good at guessing toy prices. He thinks the price will go up too. So Timmy offers you an option to buy the Ultrabot for $10 in 1 month, even if the price goes up, but you still have to pay Timmy $1 now for this option. That's the premium. You're trading that $1. So you give Timmy $1, and now you have the option to buy the Ultrabot for $10 next month, no matter what the price of the item is. Now let's see what happens in a month. The price of the Ultrabot goes up to $20. You're so happy. You use your option to buy the Ultrabot for $10 and save $10. In this case, you made a good decision by buying the option. The second thing that can happen is the price of the Ultrabot stays at $10 or goes lower. In this case, you don't use the option and just buy the toy at the store. You lose $1 you paid to Timmy, but you still get to buy the toy. All right. So that's options trading, basically. Kind of a weird way to say it, but that's options trading in a nutshell here. Let's go back over here to the 4. The 15-minute chart for Bitcoin is just not looking too crazy. Right now, we're mostly just watching this death cross happening with Bitcoin and how it's about to try to push it down really hard. Nice house. All right. Um, oh, and thanks, Ghost. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing very, very well too. I'm glad you made some nice money off those puts for FRC. Okay, my phone. Sorry, my phone was saying rain is headed for me soon. Looks like me. And hey, James. Hey, Michael. We buying, selling today? Bitcoin, Ethereum. Right now, I'm a little bit more bearish and pessimistic. We had talked about the hump that we saw a few days ago. That hump really only manifested itself into a small little move. Where was it? Yeah, Saturday, Friday. Yeah, so we talked about Friday buying the bump. That was a small bump. We started to come back down. It wasn't too good. So at this point, we're basically just hovering above the 50-day moving average. Let me show you right here. And if we start plummeting like this, we're probably going to have a 3 to 4% bad day on Bitcoin. So definitely, I'm not in the mood to buy at this point. We may have another bounce off of this, but I don't even want to test it. If I want to test it, it'll be when Bitcoin's at, what that price may be. Around 27,000. I may take a little bit of a buying opportunity. But, for me at this point in time, that's probably as best I'll do it. I have to wait for it to come down below 27,200 or so if I want to buy. At this point, we're at 27,400. Not really my cup of tea here, especially since we're having a golden cross. We may have another short-term boom, maybe over the next few hours or so, 16 hours, something like that. But I don't want to risk it with all these earnings coming out, because we got Microsoft earnings, Google earnings, Snapchat earnings, some tech earnings, that Amazon, some other stuff coming out. I don't want to risk it. And just the way that everything's kind of trending down right now, it's more for me for more like a couple day type of scenario, not just like a couple hours of buying and kind of making some money. It's much more of a bearish attitude at this point, where I expect us today or tomorrow to really just get popped down below that 50-day moving average, and see 3 to 4% drop in Bitcoin, and everybody's freaking out again, and everybody's like, oh, what's going on here? That's more of my thesis, at least for what Bitcoin can be doing right now. I'm really hoping that we can somehow hold this. It's just, be careful. We're going to be looking at a death cross happening over here next week. That's not going to be fun at all. The last time we had a death cross as far as Bitcoin was right here. This one I would say is a little bit more of a outlier, because it was a literal banking crisis that forced Bitcoin down, just like with the FTX crisis and the Celsius crisis. It wasn't so much of the technicals. It was much more of, hey, wow, something really big is happening in the real world out here outside the markets, and that drove us down. Besides that, the last time was here, or no, I'm thinking of the 200, right? Oh, no, we haven't actually had a big move up here in a while. Last big move, I guess it was right here. The last time we had a big pump up, and then we had a death cross, because normally these death crosses, I guess a small pump up here, but this already happened beforehand. Oh, see, this was FTX. It's a little bit different. I'm still much more bearish, though. I think we're going to break down below this. I guess we broke down right here as well, but again, that could have been the beginning of the banking crisis. I don't really remember what was happening there beforehand. But yeah, definitely more bearish. Definitely more bearish in the short term. There we go. Plus death crosses occurring on the 4-hour charts, if that matters. Well, to you at least. See, am I selling that house, Michael? No. What do you call? I'll sell it for $100,000. I'll call it an NFT, and somebody will buy it. So one more question about FRC. Is there more downside, or is that the new level? I mean, if you had a plan going into that trade, I would definitely stick to it. I would really stick to that plan. If you wanted to open up a new type of play on it, what I would do is do one of two things. Maybe you leave a little bit of the options you have on it now in place, just a teeny bit, or you take some of the profits that you incurred through those other puts, and then you just open up a new trade, even more out of the money, so they're a little bit more expensive. It's gonna be a little bit more cheaper as far as the puts are concerned. I'd probably do the latter, but they definitely have more downside. I don't know if that downside necessarily is going to be happening this month or next month. It might be happening closer to whenever we actually hit this full-blown recession, because people are going to be spending a lot of the money out of their balances, and that's going to be a little bit more harm when it comes to what happens. Because remember, interest rates are high. Banks are not going to be more likely to give out credit, so people aren't going to be willing to spend more money, which means they can't collect on fees and things of that nature. So I'm in the camp of long-term shorts, but it have to be a bank by bank basis, following their own technical analysis to kind of find that breakdown point. When you have something as drastic as the earnings we saw today, falling down from like 16, $17 all the way to $12, usually you wait a couple minutes into the opening bell, and then you just sell, or you follow whatever strategy you had there in the first place, Ivan. I'm having a hard time keeping my long-term trades on the same account as my day trade swing trades. Do you use different accounts to separate them? With cryptocurrencies, yes, absolutely. With stocks, no. With stocks, it's just too much of a hassle because of the rules involving pattern day trading and how they kind of want you to manage your accounts. I typically, for crypto, will have two different exchanges, and I forget what it was, but there are some exchanges. I totally forget which one it is. There are a couple exchanges that let you have different wallets for different things. I haven't used one of those before, but I know they exist. Um, you know, Fairdesk, BitGet, Binance, KuCoin, Bybit, depending on where you live and what you have access to, test them all out, see which one you like the best. Fairdesk sponsors the channel, so of course give them a look, give them a check out. But get used to the system of trading on it before you move. Usually, what I would say is for your longer term trades, it's better to find a new account for those. Since you're kind of more proactive in day trading, you want to keep the system that you're kind of used to. At least that's just my opinion. Unless you're like not satisfied with your current exchange. And then as far as long term, try to find a new account for those. Now, those could be spot trades. Those could be margin trades, futures or trading with leverage. You do want to have them separate. I do as well. It can just be a little bit annoying to have them all together. And sometimes if I have, I'm Bitcoin long 5% for a few weeks, and then I'm also long Bitcoin 30x leverage or something. Sometimes I will accidentally close the wrong thing out, not even thinking. Again, I have ADHD. Sometimes I just push the wrong button and I look at it and I'm like, oh shit. And I feel pretty stupid at myself. But I don't know if that's something you do, Tom. But normally, yeah, I would definitely be definitely would try to find another one for those longer term positions. They're longer term positions. See. And hey, Ymir, thank you so much for responding to my comment. It makes me so much sense the way you broke that down. Definitely a different ball game from forex. I appreciate you taking the time to explain. Yeah, no worries. It definitely is a different ball game. Don't worry about it. There are tons of educational videos out there on how to train them. But I would really say just take it easy. There's no rush to go in there. It is so much different than forex, so much different than crypto. I would really say you're learning about them kind of at the beginning now. You probably don't want to allocate any money into options really for the next 3-4 months as you're learning. That's how you don't want to just start pumping money into it unless you're following somebody or something like that. But even then it's very questionable. I wouldn't really suggest that unless you really can grind and do a lot of lessons in the first month, then you can start allocating money. But you want to do copy trading, you want to test certain strategies out there. You want to figure out and kind of lean a little bit more in there into the delta, the gamma, the theta. Theta is really important when it comes to options trading. So you want to get all that under your belt before you start going there, but it's really, really good. And hey, Monica, sold all of your BGB at 40 cents, hope to buy back at 32 cents. Yeah, what do you call it? Not a bad thing. A lot of profit there. I know we've been talking about this for a while and shaving off some BGB as need be. And I'm glad we were shaving off some BGB because what do you call it? It had a really high point here, and it's definitely been coming back down a little bit more. Let's go back over here, BGB spot. There we go. Let's go over here to the daily chart. All right. Last few days, it's been having some crazy spikes. You can see how it's already starting to break down a little bit here. Definitely worth shaving off some right here so you can buy back some more later on. Well, this was all the way back in February. It popped up around 51 cents. That was great. I sold some at 50 cents. I sold some at 40. I bought back a little bit, some over here at 35. I sold off some back over here on 43. I'm waiting to see what happens. But again, I'm doing this off of how I think Bitcoin's going to go. And I think Bitcoin's going down, and freaking BGB's getting some sold offs here. But it's been a great move. It's been a very good profit for both of us. Let's go back over here to the second chart for Bitcoin, kind of watch this play out. Nothing too crazy right now, guys. We're just kind of going starting off negative for the day. But I wouldn't say anything's necessarily like terrible. We're just looking bad, but we're not bad yet. Not bad yet. And hey, Tony, let's go Heat. Jimmy Butler, 52 points. Whoa. Yeah, aren't they close to elimination though? They better pick up the pace. I think I haven't been watching the NBA as much as I want to, but I know there's been some crazy stuff happening with people smacking people and all types of crap. A lot of people getting thrown out, apparently, like 2 or something like that. What's right here? And hey, Devow, XRP, what is XRP doing right now? I wonder if XRP is showing any promise just because of the news coming out about Coinbase suing the SEC as well. Let's see. There's XRP. Not really doing much here. On the daily, it's taking a little bit of a slam here. This thing isn't even honoring any of the moving averages. Not a thing. At this point, it's trying to hold the 50, although it already broke down below it, so I don't know what help that's going to be for you. But that next support level seems to be really back down here around 45 to 42. I wouldn't be holding or buying anything at this point. It's kind of back over here to these old levels from what, October of 2022. That's a while ago here. Weekly chart, anything to see? Not much in the weekly chart either. Wow, yeah. I mean, that support here, it might actually come all the way back down to 41 cents if you're not careful. Death cross is occurring. You can see this is definitely a little more bearish here. If I was looking to buy, I'd probably look to buy somewhere between 40 cents and up here around 43.95. So once it starts breaking down below this, I'd really start kind of dollar cost averaging into that, hoping for a reversal. I wouldn't really be doing any leverage trading. This thing has had a really miserable few days, hasn't it? Wow, look at that. Big drop. Like, what caused that drop? This is a 4-hour chart, so it dropped 9%. I mean, it came back up, of course, but you want to be very careful with a play like that. That'll stop you out of any long you're at. Let's go back over here though. Back over to the daily. It's the low. We can do this as the low just because it's sort of a new trend. Not even holding up there. Wow. There we go. A little bit better now. 4-hour. Yeah, same as before though. If it starts breaking down below this, you're going to have a preem zone right here to buy between like 41 and 44. You might hope for maybe 43 and below is a reasonable time, but this still looks like it wants to break down a little bit more. If you want to short this, I'd probably just wait for it to break down this cycle of higher lows. All right. Let me go over here and open this MACD very fast. You've had the crossover in the short term. Looks like you're going to have another crossover here pretty soon. On the daily, you've already had the crossover. Oh, yeah, the crossover was way back over here. Yeah, it did follow that crossover, though. Definitely looking a little bit more bearish here. Careful, though, because I don't exactly know what caused that to spike so much. Usually XRP is, it's an old name in the crypto space as far as old goes there. But yeah, definitely looking a little bit suspicious as far as, be careful if you're holding it right now. It could definitely drop on you at any time. Just like Bitcoin, I guess, to be frank, just because of these moving averages we're currently dealing with. And hey, Rob, blockchain is cool. I just started to use it for crypto transactions. The fees are crazy compared to Robinhood, though. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if you're talking about just the blockchain in general or a specific product called blockchain. I don't know if there is such a thing. But, I work with a lot of people that deal with blockchain and the technology and kind of building on Solana, the different Ethereum, like the different networks out there. It's very useful. And once you kind of get your servers up and running, you can do a lot of crazy stuff with it. And people that I know that are engineers, because I'm not an engineer, they seem to love it, and it opens up a new passion for them, because they suddenly in their minds, because I can't comprehend what code, I just can see in their minds because I have no idea what coding is. They it opens up new possibilities that they kind of dive right into, and I've seen that happen so many times. It's why I go to so many of these Seattle events to kind of meet people and kind of see what they're working on. They are coming up with some crazy, fantastic stuff as far as cryptocurrencies. And hey, Ken, if I was buying puts on Apple, would be my stop loss. It would pretty much be the last local high. So for now, for Apple, that's I mean, it's like a sideways thing right now. See, it's my notes. Don't swing breakout, only day trade the breakout. More than happy to place puts. So it'd probably be up here at 168, frankly, or if I'm feeling a little bit more agitated or something like that, maybe around earnings of what is this? May 4th, kind of around the same time as the interest rates hikes. You know, I'm probably going to be out of this before May 3rd, to be frank. Scaled out before May 3rd. It would really either be here at 168, or if we start plummeting down, it'd be just right around here about the 20-day moving average. Nothing too crazy about it though. If we kind of have one more hiccup here, like let's say we kind of go here and then fall, it'll be right there. Does that make sense? So it'll be that last local high that I can see. At this point, that local high is way up here. I'm hoping that we have one more hump before it happens. So far, we have not had any type of hump, but we still have a few more days left. It is only Monday. But yeah, that's how I would pretty much plan it. And then see right now with this consolidation pattern, not looking too crazy. Let me put this on the magnet here. There you go. You know, just waiting to see what happens. Apple update 423, cons, 5 divergences, all pointing down. Close large resistance. Pro still an uptrend. That's not bad. And there's not really any bad news about Apple right now. In fact, there's good news about them opening some stores up in ND. I think Tim Cook was there or something. So, you know, it's not like they're in any bad mood. It's just like, hey, technicals are saying, hey, watch out, watch out, watch out. But yeah, definitely puts rather than calls. If I'm doing calls, it's a day trade. If I'm doing calls, it's a day trade. There you go. See. Oh, and hey, Ghost, you're studying AI. AI has been getting bigger and bigger. Now I've only been using ChatGPT. I've been using, I guess, a few other products too, just kind of test them out. AI still has a long way to go, but man, is it going to really change up some stuff. Can you imagine? There's just, it's going to change everything we know about certain jobs out there. Like a lot of the data jobs out there, a lot of like the people doing spreadsheets and stuff, that's all going to go away. That's all going to be replaced by computers. And there's going to be maybe like a half amount of people going over the work to make sure it's properly done. But it's not going to take like 10, 15 people to do the job. It's just going to take, you know, a couple $100 of ChatGPT. That's what makes it so crazy. Yeah, maybe a few $1,000s. It's going to be expensive, but it's going to be profitable still for the corporation compared to hiring a real person that has to have benefits, paid time off and stuff like that. And hey, Donnie boy, good night, Mike. What did I miss? What do you call it? You didn't miss anything so far. Bitcoin's just looking pretty bearish at this point in time. The whole market's kind of teetering off the edge and it looks like we're probably going to have a pretty big dip here pretty soon. The only thing that could really stop this, in my opinion, is some really good blockbuster earnings. Today, earnings were not that great, but they're not important earnings today. Tomorrow, we start to have a little bit more. You're asking about McDonald's. I would say McDonald's earnings in past have usually been pretty good, especially even through these rougher patches, because people still want a few dollar burger over making food. It's just, you know, fast food has always been easy. And everywhere I go, McDonald's still has full lines, at least from what I've seen. And so I think the earnings will be fine. The forecast may be a little bit more pessimistic. I wouldn't play options on them right now. I think the implied volatility is a little bit too much. But I think tomorrow, once the bell opens, I think it'd be worth doing some day trading on McDonald's. I don't know if it's really going to be some type of really big blockbuster miss, though. I don't expect them to be beating by some big milestone, but You know, perhaps if they have some AI help, they can say that, hey, we're going to be opening up more stores with no humans in it or few humans, and it's going to be greatly beneficial to our bottom line. But I would expect them to be doing fine tomorrow, but more of a day trading opportunity. What are you doing? Stop it. Loki's licking my arm because I put some lotion on it. Yeah. Psh. Heater up 3-1 versus the Bucks. Jimmy Buckets. Oh, really? Oh, I thought I'm totally forgetting the Heat. Oh, I'm thinking of I'm not thinking of the Heat. I'm thinking of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Never mind. Yeah, that's why I think that Cleveland is down. Okay, that's good to hear that they're doing really well. Jimmy Buckets. I mean, 52 points is no joke. Thoughts on? Oh no, Mike. What is a good suggestion for a sub $100 cigar? I got into them a bit and wanted to know which one I should try. Okay, so I'm not a cigar expert. I don't want to pretend like I am. I personally like Arturo Fuente cigars. Those are my personal favorite. Astrons are very good. My father is a good one as well. I'm not the best at brands. Let me show you something right here. I can't even spell the name properly. There you go, Arturo Fuente. Jero cigars. Okay, here you go. So, okay, let me see if I can find one here for you very fast. Can I'd say start to 20, and really you just want something between 20 and 70. Usually once you get like this 50, usually once you get above that, it's kind of crazy. Let's see, sun grown, sleep viewed, Hemingway. Maybe this one's not too bad. This is the one I know. Those I don't remember the one I got. It's I should just go to Arturo Fuente because I'm not seeing the one I want here. I was smoking it while I was doing those shorts a couple weeks back. Cigars. Opus X. Opus X is that's what it's called. Was it 20th anniversary? And then do they got the what is it? Slink 6.5. I think it's 6.5. I don't know why I like longer cigars. I don't know why. Yeah, this one right here. Okay, so Opus X God's Whisper. There we go. Okay. These ones. I don't know if how expensive these ones are. Oh, okay. Let's see. Yeah, single $40. There you go. Apparently, if you want a box of 20, it's pretty expensive. But what do you call? About $40. This one's really good. That middle range, you can see the reviews right here. Very nice cigar, smooth. At the end of the day, though, I would consider this one like my version of luxury because I can't appreciate cigars as much as like the average cigar connoisseur, but I just like smoking them. I would say what I like to do, honestly, is get what you can call a sampler. Now, I don't know this website at all. I just saw that they had this. But usually I like to go find a sampler, and I like to just kind of get what I can. So this sampler is for $40. This one's for 60. Usually a sampler for $100 to $150 is usually really good. Like this one right here, $150 Padron Maduro 8 cigar sampler. This one looks pretty dark if you like full body ones. This is going to be something that you like. I like that it kind of comes in this box, but I don't know what you do with the box after you smoke these cigars. But these cigars look pretty darn nice. I'd say go with the sampler over just getting a nice cigar. Usually these samplers are really, really nice. Now, if you don't want to spend over $150, they have tons of cheaper models out there. But usually you can go out and you can buy a cigar. Like I bought a cigar the other day, an Arturo Fuente, from my local Tacoma. No, what are those places called? Tacoma Mall. No, I didn't go to the Tacoma Mall. I went to the Puyallup one because it's in a different spot. Layers. Go here. This is Puyallup. Okay, here we go. I forget what this store is called, so forgive me. Oh, yeah. Total Wine and More. So they have a cigar section here, like an actual humidor you can walk in. And they got better deals than what you can find online, and you don't have to wait for the delivery. You don't have to pay for the shipping, which is kind of annoying. And then you can just buy one cigar at a time and just go back there, 1 or 2 cigars. Otherwise, if you want more than that, you're most likely you're going to want to get a humidor, and then it takes like 48 hours to season that humidor. So you don't want to buy the humidor the same day you're buying all these cigars. It can kind of turn into a mess. You have to buy distilled water. You have to buy some special distilled wipes if you want to go down the road, some beads, the humidifier if you want that. And the box itself can cost anywhere from like $50 to a couple $100 to, I mean, technically more, but you get my point. I would say sampler or Opus X family. It doesn't have to be that one Opus X, but it's the family. They're usually in that higher range for one cigar. I think most cigars that I've smoked are usually at the $20 price points. You can taste the difference between that $20 price point and the Opus X. And I'm not even a cigar connoisseur. I'm like, oh wow, that tastes good. But again, that's kind of up to your preference. But I like more full-bodied cigars. I thought of a buzz that they give me. They don't really give me too much of a buzz, but they're pretty good. And I like the longer ones because I usually like to enjoy a long smoke of 45 minutes to an hour and a half. I don't necessarily like to just smoke for like 15 minutes or have a short smoke. I think smoking is something that helps me relax and just, kind of breeze off. Loki's outside. I'm outside sitting down. I'm playing fetch with him as I'm smoking. I'm looking on my phone for stuff. Nice and easy. If you're going to a lounge, Opus X just is a good show-off cigar. But frankly, all of those cigars in that sampler list, whatever sample you end up going to, if it's above $100 for like 5-6 cigars, each cigar is going to be a very, very nice cigar for you. Yeah, no worries, X following a sampler. They're very good. I'd highly recommend samplers. And what I tend to do if you get a humidor, what you should probably do is get a cheap sampler and a very nice sampler. Give the cheap sampler cigars out to your friends that don't like cigars or that are new to cigars so they can try it out first. Because I've noticed that when I do give friends cigars out and about, a lot of times they don't like it, and so they just don't smoke it. And I would hate. Let's see. Kuba. Oh, he's Sincere says Kuba Kuba pretty good. I haven't heard of the brand. Well, I haven't smoked the brand. I've heard of it, but that could be pretty good as well. And man, Tesla puts are expensive right now. Everybody and their mom is against Tesla right now. You guys have been probably seeing the news that the CNBC attacks on Elon Musk are kind of ramping up again. I mean, it's it's going to happen, guys. I mean, remember, it fell down so fast because there was no support levels, because back in the day, Tesla rose so fast. And now that we rose so fast again, because there was no resistance, because we broke down so fast, now we again have no support because we rose up so fast. So it's a weird thing, guys. It's going to be like a couple $100, a few $100 minimum for a single call here, or I guess put for you. But let's go over the premium. Let's look at, no, last week was like the earnings and stuff. Let's just kind of focus on what we can see today. You get a call for 162, a put for 88, 150, 519, 165. I mean, the implied volatility is pretty darn high. You can see 49%, 53%, 48%, 53. Those are pretty high levels. Oh, 77, 122. Stop doing that. Why is it doing that? I want to, okay, whatever. This Tesla 616 put bought today, 26,400,000. Now, this is a put. They are most likely going to be exercising these options and shorting Tesla down because, I mean, why not? If you think the economy is in pretty shitty shape, Tesla is something that should go down quite a lot. But charts, they bought it at 237 today. I mean, 237. That is wild. So that's 237 times 100. So that's like $27,000 per single option. That's a lot. But today you could definitely see a lot more bullish plays. You have some calls right here, 2025, 2025. That's 2025. We're not even in 2024. We're not even halfway through 2023. Too far away to have any big impact. But what I'll say here is, if you want to go down here, I don't know how many there are. Let's go to aggressive. So this expires within 35 days and it's out of the money by 7.5%. Okay. Now we have some, it looks like. I put 519, which is about a month away, and that's 150 strike price. The current price of Tesla is 162. So they're basically expecting us to continue the breakdown here that we've been having and then moving back down. I don't know if we're going to have a complete falling off or if we're going to be entering in some type of new position like this. You know, we'll kind of flag around for a little bit. I'm not entirely sure, but you can see this first one, we've broken down below that on the weekly chart. We're going to have to find another level of support. And like I said, we rose so fast, there's not really many support levels here. If any, it's all the way down here around 130, 140 levels. And we're at 160. That's a pretty big drop off. So, you know, people are not very optimistic about Tesla, and you're seeing everybody buy those options. And because everybody's buying them, there's a higher demand. And because there's a higher demand, the cost is up even more. It sucks. The only thing cheap I see here is a 519 put for 120. Wow, 120. I mean, that's technically not bad because of how fast this thing can fall, but I doubt he would wait for it to hit expiration. I think the best thing this person could do is probably sell it in about a week or so if the price drops out like a rock. If you're paying 50 cents, it might hop up to 75, $1.25, maybe $1.50. Hit it, run for your life. Because if it actually does go down to 120 strike price, that could actually go up to like $5-6. It could be pretty big profit. But what's happened since they bought it today? Yeah, they bought it for 54 cents. Now it's at 32. I mean, they've almost lost half the value of that option just like that. Now, they are definitely holding on to this for a while, so they should expect some volatility. But I mean, they could have bought at the end of the day and saved like $15,000. You know, again, when I'm looking at this data, guys, this is usually hedge funds and large players. This is not like everyday traders out there. These people usually have millions of dollars in their account, and they are trading based off of their more advanced indicators, news events, and stuff like that. Systems. Maybe some of them even use the Bloomberg system. But yeah, Tesla, no good. No good on Tesla. No good. Not good at all. And you're seeing the VIX pop up a little bit here, not too crazy. Waiting for the VIX to have a big spike. And we talked about the options play a few days ago or last week. Somebody placed a big bet for the VIX to have a screaming up moment. They're betting on it, and I hope it pans out. I really hope it pans out for them, because that means something really crazy happened in the overall market. It's not supposed to set to expire though, I think, until June. June is when it's supposed to expire here. So now, yeah, for June, yeah, that's when that VIX expires too. How long did it take for you to escape the rat race? Oh, let's see right here. I don't know what rat race means, so let me check it out. Escape the rat race? Probably about a year and a half. If you're talking about like trying to do something and it's not working out as far as trading and some of that, it's probably that. For me, it was just clamoring too much to money. You guys know I grew up in pretty humble beginnings. And so I always kind of held on to my money too much. And because I have ADHD and anxiety, my anxiety would try to make me feel like, oh my God, I lost $50. Should I sell now? Should I sell now? That's $50. I could use $50. You know, that was my mentality when I first started trading. And so eat race, 9 to 5. Yeah. Oh, that's different than the rat race. But basically, as soon as I was able to kind of control my emotions and actually start recording my trades, things got a lot easier for me. As far as the eat race and the 9 to 5, that wasn't too hard because I don't really like working for people. When I get a job, I usually just save all my money, have a pretty decent place to live, and that's what I kind of invest my money into. And, you know, just kind of do me and kind of have my peaceful life. Trading is a lot more peaceful than I think working another job. Heck, I just went shopping for clothes this weekend, and I got nicer clothes because I haven't bought clothes I think in like a year, like nice clothes besides like a t-shirt from Amazon or a cheap shirt off of Amazon, basically, because usually I need it really fast and I don't want to drive off and go get some stuff. But for the first time in a long time, I went shopping for some stuff just for me. The last time I went shopping for me, I bought this ring, but it's not really clothes. So I bought like shirts like this because I'm going to start going on other YouTube. Loki came over and just grunted at me like, but basically I went out for the first time in a while and bought some clothes for myself, and I haven't done this in a while. So I bought a whole bunch of golf shirts because I'm gonna buy some like $400 pair of golf clubs next month. I'm gonna try to learn how to golf. And I bought some nice shorts, but me being a larger guy, I had to go to I don't know if any of you guys are larger, but this is the best store I know for larger, nice attire. DXL. Yeah, these guys. No, that's king size. That's not. No, what do you call it? There you go, DXL. This place is good. I was hoping the other place had a store, but basically, yeah, like polos. Like, I wanted to buy this one, but it was like $110, and I was like, you can screw yourself. But I bought a shirt like this, that Hawaiian shirt, but it's like a darker blue. How do I find out what you bought here? There's a shirt right there. Shirts. Is this what type of shirt is this? Polos? No, I think polo means like polo. This is a polo, right? Brand. Reebok. Yeah, I got a Reebok. That's how you pronounce it. Never bought a Reebok before. Yeah, I got these shorts. I got these ones. They cost like $55 a piece. I even got this color, this pink color, I think it was. What do you call it? They're nice, but I got these ones right here. 55 bucks. This is the one I think I got on right now. No, I think I got the little bit of the more blue one. Yeah, I got this one right here. Yeah, it's like 55 bucks. What do you call? Ooh. I mean, a little on the pricey side, guys, but I bought like 6 of these shirts. I bought some golf shorts that cost like 60 bucks, but they're like really soft. And since I'm a bigger guy, they have like extra leg room and stuff. And they're perfectly formed to me. But you can see their sizes go all the way up to like 7X or 6X on this one. Oh, 6L extra tall. Extra long and stuff. So, once you kind of grow out of whatever's stopping you from making money, you got to figure out what that is for yourself. Usually it's something mental and nothing to do with your actual comprehension of trading. And then you're a little bit easier off. What do I think of AGFY? Don't know what this is. Maybe I've heard of it before, but I'm not entirely sure. And Griffey, I do not know what this is. Daily, weekly. Okay, so this is a penny stock. You have a high chance of losing money on this, a very high chance of losing money, just to let you know. Now on the short term here, you haven't really had any crazy good signs to buy. It looks like if you buy off of any good sign right here, you're usually losing money. A big pop here, you buy, you lose money. Big pop here, you buy, you lose money. If this is more of a gambling type of thing, but normally what you would do in this situation is you would dollar cost average a little bit every day until you hit your desired amount of this, not coins, this stock that you want to own. So it's 20 cents, 21 cents right now. Maybe you want to put $100 into it. Maybe you dollar cost average $10 a day, $20 a day, whatever you feel like is adequate. And then once it pops up to a price target, whenever that happens, if you've only invested $30 out of the 100 and it pops up, doesn't matter, you sell. So let's say it pops up to 30 cents and you've only invested $40. You sell that $40 for that for like $50, $70 profit, and you get out, basically. That's the goal here. But ultimately, this thing looks like it's going to continue going down forever. I mean, it's not something you want to hold for the long term. It looks like this thing has been coming down for a while. It had a split last year. It looks like in 2022, had a little bit of a squeeze when that happened. But ultimately, this thing is just not looking good. They may even have had an offering here in December of last year. So let's go over here very fast. See if I can find an offering. Milestone, vertical farming 2022. There it is, December, right? And I'll just launch a public offering right there, 8.7 million. that dropped it down quite a bit, 69%. It's usually not worth it, but if you want to have some fun, this is the same as going to the casinos in Vegas, kind of rolling something on black. It can be pretty fun, but I would say just be very, very careful. It can be very, very risky. You're going to be better served trading a complete shit token over a penny stock, because the tokens, they can't go through these random, or they normally don't go through all these random splits and stuff like that. People kind of know, okay, it's not good, everybody get out. You can find something else to kind of grind on top of. When it comes to penny stocks and stuff, they can split, they can do a lot of stuff, and they have way different rules that I think are not good. How they do the offerings and stuff like that. I absolutely hate the way they do it. Let's see, and AGT, I like DXL, but everything I get there falls apart quickly for some reason. I think that's probably true of their cotton, because I remember getting some t-shirts there before, and after the first time I washed it, I noticed that I was losing a little bit of color, and I had to wash it with cold water, Tide Pods, and do a special washing cycle. You know how you, like, most of the time, I don't know about you guys, but most of the time when I'm washing my clothes, it's like heavy duty, and that's it. Heavy duty, hot water, 2 rinses, and maybe some fabric softener or something. I think it's actually like their clothes are not meant to be just tossed in the heavy duty, and that's what I did. So now when I get my nicer clothes, I'm usually doing a cold wash or a warm wash. I think mine has like 5 heat settings or something, and then I kind of let it work its magic on it. But I haven't had any problems since not using hot or warm hot. That's on mine. I think warm and cold are fine, or like room temperature, whatever, they're fine. But be careful of hot. But it's only for cotton. Whenever I bought shirts like this, the only reason I had to buy more shirts like this is because Loki like tore the collars. Like literally, like if you see my other shirt, like the collar is all shredded out, and so there's not something I can wear or wear. But they have like these shirts that I think are like $20 or $25. They're cotton. I think that's exactly. I don't know if this is what you had, but that's exactly the problem I had with them over there. Yeah, no worries, Bird Sauce. Happy to help you guys out. But okay, buddy, I'm going to call it a night. It's been a good 2 hours. It's been a pretty good 2 hours here. Watch out for any sudden moves on Bitcoin. We haven't really seen too much disaster yet, guys. Now, am I still bearish? Yes, but at least we have earnings to boost us up here, hopefully tomorrow and the next few days. I will be live again tomorrow at 6, but I want you guys to understand that a lot of the action is going to be happening around 1 o'clock. Pacific time, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, excuse me. Yeah, 4 o'clock East Coast time as we watch the earnings reports. Maybe I might just go live. Maybe I'll go live twice. I don't like to go live twice. But I might go live at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Don't hold me to that. I have a meeting at 5 o'clock tomorrow that should last until 5:30, 5:45. So I'm hoping that I can get that meeting done before I normally would stream at 6. If for whatever reason I learn that meeting may go long, I may just go live at 1 o'clock instead of actually going live at 6 o'clock, which is my normal time. But we'll see how that ends up. But yeah, hey everybody, yeah, CGT, Virtus Sauce, Tony, Larry. Hope you guys all have a really good day. Ivan XX Fallen, go try that cigar. Let me know what you think. Or the samplers are freaking amazing. Now I want to go buy a sampler, but I already have a sampler. And Danny Boy, Tony, hope you guys all gonna have a really good day. Cannon Ghost Rider as well, and Monica, hope you guys all have a fantastic day. And Ymir, thank you for